Today we're going to be talking about how you can become your own bank using credit with Mr. Elliot Cole. You already know, some of y'all may know him as the Credit Dad, but he's been doing credit for a long, long time, credit restoration. And he's just going to come in today and just bless us with this game. So, Elliot, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Blessed and highly favored. How they say, how the old folks say. I'm
All right.
next door now.
I'm telling, hey man, you look good. You looking real pimpish right now. You
Hey,
feel what I'm saying? He got the purple. He got the down one on him. I'm like, okay, let me get right. We got to get to the bag today. We got to get to the bag today.
I'll
So,
put them up when I can't see. Put my vocals on.
oh man, no, keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. We got to get the bag today. We gonna keep those up. We gonna keep
Hey,
the yays on. So,
yes,
all
sir.
right. So before we get into it, a lot of people, of course, when they come to the Spill Street channel, they want
Yeah,
to hear professional advice. And like I tell y'all all the time, we don't deal with no rookies over here at Spill Street. You feel what I'm saying? No
yeah,
discrimination, but
yes.
we don't deal with rookies. We bring the big dogs up over here when we get into it with any discussion or any topic. So Elliot, before we get into it, can you give our listeners a brief you know, introduction or background into how you got into credit restoration?
Oh, yeah. It's a good story. People always be surprised, but they let them know that they can live. Uh, I
Yeah.
got into credit. I was transitioning to the corporate world. So
Hmm.
I began to study credit. Growing up, we hear the word cash is king and this and that. So, usually if I couldn't afford it with cash, then I wouldn't put it on credit because we use the word, especially in our community, especially
Yeah.
in the Black community, the word credit is almost like going to a funeral or something. It was a scary word embedded us because a lot
Right.
of us really wasn't taught credit. So, I was always growing up cash, never really studying it. And as I began to get into the area where I wanted to purchase my first house, uh, I couldn't do it because my credit score, and I tell everybody this, drum roll, man, when I look at my credit score was a 300.
Three. Wait here.
The Spartans, the three
Yeah. Yeah. 300. Okay. Okay. You know what? It's powerful that you saying that, not to cut you off, but a lot of, especially when you're dealing with black people, right? A lot
yeah,
of us can be ashamed to talk about where we're at in the credit space, even when it comes to buying a home.
right.
A lot of times when I'm dealing with a lot of first time black home buyers, a lot of them in the beginning are a bit ashamed or scared to even follow through with the pre-qualification process. But I tell people all the time, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you at.
Oh yes,
So the
yes,
fact
yes,
the fact
yeah.
that you start, yeah, but keep going. I don't even want to mess it up. I don't even want to mess it up. I just wanted to add that up in there.
Yeah,
But
if
okay.
you're trying, like failure
Yeah.
doesn't come with trying. As long as you try, you
Yeah.
can always learn through that experience of trying and patience.
Uh-huh.
So, one thing about me, I'm transparent, I'm straightforward. When I'm giving the information that I utilize and that I apply it, my thing is when I put it out there, you guys got to research it and read it for yourself.
Yeah.
How many of us are led astray when we go to certain churches or something. When the preacher's giving a word, he's just a messenger. When I leave up
Right.
out of there, I got to go write these scriptures down that you just said so I can read it for myself because we also might get different interpretations. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing with life and also with
Mm-hmm.
credit. So I'm very transparent
Mm-hmm.
because I had to let people know that and to be truthful with me doing
Yeah.
credit, when I tell people that I started with a 300, like mine
Mm-hmm.
is the lowest that anybody ever heard of. And when
Yeah.
I actually seen that, I thought my life was over. I was like, man, I might as well go on and purchase my cat.
Right.
I don't think I could ever get out this hole. What am I gonna do?
Right.
But I
Right.
began to study the things that the government had in place, far as the
Mm-hmm.
Fair Credit Reporting Act, the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
FCC, the Consumer Fair Protection Bureau, all these entities that the government placed to protect consumers. We'll get into
Mm-hmm.
that a little bit later because
Okay.
we want to separate consumers from us being a natural person.
Absolutely.
And that's one reason how I got started in that. Just studying, reading that, learning the violations, sending my letters in, getting 100 of no's until you get that first yes. It's always something about that first yes. That first yes strengthens you, encourages you. It keeps you in the fight. It keeps you going, and you know that, hey man, this thing is for us and really not against us. And so I began to establish that, fight them, and learn the law through the FTC. I mean, it's so many out there that you can utilize that you really don't have to do it yourself. You know, you can piggyback off of it. It'll go straight line. And I worked my way up until I purchased my first home.
Okay.
And then it was wonderful.
Okay, I like that. I wanna get into that home. How you got back into purchasing your own home a little bit later, but coming into it, right? The conversation that we having today, is becoming your own bank via your own credit restoration, right?
Yes.
So with you as a professional, you done mastered this thing, right?
Yes.
So I want to ask you, like, can you explain, at least for somebody who's like, young or whatever age you are, but you're getting serious about coming into credit restoration to, try to increase your personal credit, your business credit. You may want to get that Lamborghini. You may want to get this business loan, whatever your dreams are. I want you to explain to the people the concept of becoming your own bank as it relates to personal or business credit.
Oh yes, this is a wonderful topic. We're gonna stay on the surface. We're gonna be a little put our feet in the deep end a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm walking with you. I'm walking with you.
I'm a student. I'm learning every day. I'm pliable. The information comes so much download that sometimes literally I have to take a month off. With the studying and all that, because I realize with the mental and the information and where the source is coming from. Is because he's universal. He's a big God. My brain ain't that big, so I gotta say, if I'm applying it. But the one thing that I can say to everybody out there, once you understand this concept, when you wake up in the morning, you're brushing your teeth, you're looking in the mirror. I want you to begin to see that you are the credit. I state this so much, not trying to get into the biblical terms, but things come from biblical principle that we are the head and not the tail. So we have to come to the understanding how did this all switch around, because we have to understand that the United States is a corporation. It's amazing when I first found this out. We have to separate America from the United States. America is the country. The United States is the business. It's the commerce. It's commercial. Everything that we do in the United States is purely business. Capital gains, we're trying to get to the bag.
Right.
And if you study anything about history, we're going to make this quick. 1933, Roosevelt, what he did, he took all the gold and silver away because the Americans or the people of this country, we had to pay our bills or presentments or the barter system. It was with some substance. So it had to be something, hard, this. So the country was going through a financial crisis. Roosevelt was trying to come up with a plan. So he did the 1933 Emergency Banking Act, and he said, snatched up everybody gold and silver. And he said, what we're going to do is replace it with fiat money, paper money, Federal Reserve notes. Because once you get the true understanding that this is commerce and that it's a business and that the Federal Reserve is a big bank with a bunch of bankers that sit around it and run the board that the president appoints. I mean, it's a business. Everything is commercial. So that's the first thing that we have to think of. Okay. So with being 1933 and all the gold and silver was taken away, there had to be another way that we had to pay our bills. Where was the collateral coming from? How was it going to be established? How how was America going to take care of this when they took the gold and silver away? Well, people, here's another drum roll. You became the collateral. You became the collateral from the day we was born. You have a born date and you have a registration date. Your born date is your actual birth date, the date that God said, hey, you're going to be birthed from your mother's womb. And that registration date is the date that your birth certificate was issued and entered into commerce. And the birth certificate is a bond. If you look at your birth certificate and you look at a car title or any other deed title that you own from a mortgage or home or automobile, a title shows ownership, or the title shows possession of ownership. So with that being said, our birth certificate is a title that's in your possession. The only thing about it is we haven't claimed it. So we'll basically have possession of it, but the government's still saying, hey, we're the owners of this. Until you are out of the age of majority to handle your own affairs and your own asset. Because the corporation, which is the United States, they look at us as we're not capable of handling our own affairs. And so that's the main things we have to, that's the beginning. That's the nugget. That's the seed. If we could all understand that we're living in a corporation and not a country, we wouldn't even be divided off racism. It wouldn't be women against the men. It would be, we're all working together for the good of the people because we have one common enemy. And we know who that enemy is. But we have always held the power. The people held the power. When people want something, we're the ones make the changes. The government has no business interfering in the lives of the people. And I wish I could have did this live. I didn't want to put my suit on. I've been burnt. It's like 100 degrees today. But I went out there to the Amish country. We're right on the border of Tennessee and Kentucky. So I can like walk across the Kentucky line, and the Amish people, man, they'll break it all down to you. You know, they live off the land. They basically live in America. We live in the United States, and these are two different jurisdictions.
Okay, so just coming into the introduction, what I'm getting from you is initially you don't want to look at America as a home. And I heard somebody say this too, but basically like I heard the term America is not a home, it's a hotel. So if you look at it like that, like and understand, okay, everything is a business. How can I take advantage of everything that I purchase, own, rent, lease, etc.? That already puts you a little bit ahead of the game of at least thinking in the thought process and pattern of credit restoration.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So coming into it, right? I want to ask you this: what types of credit would you say? Because like from what I've heard and research, like it's not just personal and business credit. Like there's a health credit, there's a life credit. Like like what types of credit would you say is most beneficial for people that are looking to use credit restoration to become their own bank?
To become their own bank, I dab into that a little bit down there, but you want to really utilize business credit. Okay. You want to get your personal credit up to, you want to work on your personal credit till you can get it past the 750, 800 mark. Once I don't want to say that credit isn't important, because we'll do that for another episode, but just starting right here for the beginners to keep the mind fresh so we can get the understanding. You want to build your personal credit to switch over and utilize business credit, because business credit and personal credit is separate. Personal credit can ding you, it's connected to your social security number, which is, we'll get deeper into that, which is actually an account. It's down at the Department of Treasury. The IRS is what we call it. We utilize that personal credit to build up, and I use myself as an example, then to switch over to business credit, because the thing about it, you can apply for a credit card in your personal business, your personal credit, and you're using and utilizing, you can go over 30% utilization, and then it'll ding your credit. Well, with business credit, you can max the card out and it still won't affect you unless you have PG, that personal guarantee. And a lot of times people will PG a business account or a business credit card because they don't have the personal credit up to par. So the companies that they deal with want to hold them liable, make them responsible just in case they default on the business credit. But I can use myself as an example. I tell anybody, a lot of times when people they have the idea to start the business, they don't know where to start. I come across so many people that are fearful of starting. That just hit my spirit right now.
Yeah.
So, and it'll take them a year later, this and that, and I'm glad they started, but they'll be so fearful. And I'm like, start. If you don't have the name of your business or wherever you want to start, the idea or the concept, start your first business LLC with your name. Use your name. That is going to benefit you later down the line. That's going to bless you and your household. Use your name. I have an Ilya Cole LLC, and I've utilized my name as a business to establish business credit and to switch over to go further. Because once I started this business credit, what I did, I went to nonprofit banks. We'll talk about for-profit banks and nonprofit banks, which are most definitely the credit unions. They're more liable to deal with when they want to give out loans or more approval rates, even if you have a lower credit score. But I applied and I started my businesses with them when I didn't even have the capital or the income coming in. I just wanted to establish something. And as I began to build, and at that time, build that relationship with the banks that I had established my business credit, they seen that, okay, we can give this person this amount of money. We can give this person this amount of money. Because one thing that I learned about financial institutions, and I'll drop a nugget later, is that it's never about the money going out. They want to see the money coming in. So once you have a residual in that relationship, because we have to understand everything is based off system. Everything is based off system and numbers. You don't have a person typing, oh, they deposit 500, oh, 2,500, oh, It's a system. So once you learn the system, hey, you'll begin to learn how to skate. Yeah. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. We're gonna tap dance. I don't want to get, because this subject can get deep. So I'm trying to stay on that level of the beginners.
Well, no, you good. You good. Okay, so you good, right? So transition that, you saying you want to work on your personal credit first, and the personal credit based on how, and I'm also like trying to make sure we keep this for the audience, for our beginner listeners too. Okay, so we working on our personal credit. What does managing your personal credit as a means to get towards utilizing business credit look like? Like, how does one go about managing their personal credit as a means to getting financial independence on this journey, right?
Yes. You're going to have discipline. Early on, without understanding credit, you get that first credit card, you're going to swipe like swiper. Swiper loves swiping. You're looking at that credit card like money, and in which it is. And you get to swipe. Now you're in debt. You're maxed out about 5 credit cards. You don't know what to do. The creditors are coming after you. You're being sued. They're garnishing your paycheck. It's all type of things that I've learned. This is example. This is my truth. So and as you begin to learn and come out of debt and begin to study this, you develop discipline. But then you really get the understanding of learning money and learning credit during this journey. So that comes with the discipline, and then the fear of having credit will go away because you can utilize credit for your good. You can utilize credit, man, to leverage, your assets, to leverage your monetary gain when you're utilizing it the right way. So say, for instance, let's see how credit could be good for me using it the right way. Say I'm working for a company, I get paid, a factory, I get paid every 2 weeks. I'm bringing in, every 2 weeks, I'm bringing in about $2,000. So about, I say, 4,000 a month. Working at a factory, I don't know the hours. I'm just coming up with a number or whatnot. And say I have a credit card, the limit is $1,000, and I've maxed it out to $1,000 before the statement date. You always want to pay your credit cards before the statement date to keep the utilization on there. We call that a term of hiding your utilization, and I'll explain that a little bit later or whatnot. But going back to that, say you get paid $4,000 a month. Usually what we do with our credit cards, we'll say, oh man, that's $1,000, don't want to pay it, this and this, or we'll pay the minimum balance, but still could catch up with you depending on the interest of the credit card. But if you took that $4,000, took that $1,000, made your 4,000, 3,000, put it on your credit card, paid your whole credit card. Now what didn't happen, that's still your money. You paid it off, but you still have $1,000 to utilize. Now with you paying that $1,000 off on that credit card balance, what had happened is your credit score has went up because you kept the utilization low, and the banks are saying, hey, this dude is building a good relationship with you. And now next time you look at your credit card, it done went up from 1,000 to 1,500 because they gave you an increase. So that credit card is really, and then they have credit cards that you have to research loans with the interest. You'll have some credit cards 12 months, 0% interest. So, man, you can rock that thing out before 12 months and be paying it off before anything even hit on it. By that time, it doesn't increase. It's not like rolling the dice because it's really not even gambling. You really just have to understand the system. This is all law. It's all legal, but it comes with discipline, and you're going to have to read. If you're a man and God called us to leave an inheritance to our children's children, you're going to have to start studying and planning some things and researching while you're the head to leave as a foundation to your generation that's up under you. I think that I look at people that, call or contact. A lot of people, they'll make a payment and just expect the results, which we're gonna get results over here at eSolution. That's definitely gonna happen. But you want to check, you want to know and understand, and you want to build a rapport. Like, hey man, you want to learn this thing for yourself because it's easy for you to learn for yourself. And if you're a man and you're the head, or you're the woman and you're the head of your household, man, we got to lay this foundation down and pass this down to our kids. This has to, we have to grow, and we're growing in that area, but we have to stop like we don't know or understand what's going on. You don't have to have, sometimes we think that we have to have all this cash. You just have to understand credit. It's so many people that I have connected with, mentors that I've learned. The majority of the mentors that I've learned from, matter of fact, this is a true story. All of them that I learned from at one point was homeless. So they was at the rock bottom. And so when they begin to study to fight themselves out that hole, that's when they learn. And I'm telling you now, they're 6 figures millionaires. 6 figures are on their way being millionaires. And because I've learned, I'm a reader, I apply it, I've invested in myself to learn. I took classes down in Atlanta, flew out to South Carolina just to learn and invest in myself. And because of that, I didn't have to invest too much money or capital in somebody else because I learned and read and researched for myself. And once I did that, I applied it. And that takes that knowledge. Discipline is going to have to get you there. Discipline and want better for yourself and want better for your family.
Okay, I want to go back to your mentors real quick, because I feel like this is going to be very, very important, especially for the millennials and Gen Zs who think shit just supposed to just happen within 24 hours.
Oh Lord.
So I want you to. You said these guys, and even earlier what you said about yourself, like you started off at a 300 credit score, not knowing shit about rock bottom. Now you up in the 800s, doing whatever you want, living like a king pretty much.
Yes,
So
sir.
like based on like your mentors and your situation, can you provide like any examples of how you or any of your mentors have successfully used credit to become their own bank with one of the businesses that y'all have?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of the way of being your own bank is incorporated with I guess I could also utilize life insurance because that's the credit.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing that I'm gonna
But like
start
the business, like the people,
that
not to cut you off, but like what's an example of a business that one of your mentors like created off the strength of utilizing their credit, their business credit?
oh man, we got that one of them live down there. He big time. And that's him 500.
Okay,
He
okay, okay.
yes, he came. We're gonna stick to that
Big
podcast.
him.
Yeah, yeah. He his area of business grew
Okay.
by understanding and developing marketing in a way
Mm-hmm.
where what me and you are doing, his name
Right.
got there from one podcast. And that information that he gave
Mm-hmm.
out, a lot of people hadn't heard, some people hadn't heard, and they utilized it and it took off from there. That's one of the
Mm-hmm.
growth. And then to speak on myself, one of the ways I have been successful by, understanding credit to utilize my own bank is by creating my own, credit restoration business.
Okay.
It also led me into law, creating a law. I'm certified in basic legal law and
Mm-hmm.
contract law.
Got
And
you.
so, yeah, that's another way that helped me into
Mm-hmm.
understanding business credit and being successful in that way. I point a lot of people in a direction to fight cases downtown because
Mm-hmm.
of business credit. Uh,
Okay.
and being successful in that area
Mm-hmm.
because it all starts with credit. We're the
Mm-hmm.
credit. We wear all type of hats. We could be the creditor. We could be the debtor. We could
Mm-hmm.
be any hat that we choose to be.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I get to the main foundation that makes us be able to utilize that and become
Mm-hmm.
our own bank.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I stated a little bit earlier, but we'll get to that in some of these
Mm-hmm.
next questions.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
he's one of the main ones, man. I ran into him, and I'm gonna tell you like this. This is the path of my life. We all have our own path. Every one of my mentors I've met in person. I've invested over line, started learning from them online and following them, and literally have ran dead into every one of my mentors, my wife, my kids. They could be a witness to it and have chopped it up with them. You know what I'm saying? Me, I ran into him 500. We was at Cumberland Mall. He would
Mm-hmm.
low key people that's not familiar with
Yeah.
literacy. They didn't really even know he walking in just like normal. He was there with his daughter. I looked, and he's shocked. Saying he looking around. And I introduced him to my brother, which
Uh-huh.
is a realtor, and we got to chopping it up and
Uh-huh.
talking and learning, and it was wonderful, man, to meet people. And then I've ran into some other people that was my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it seemed like everybody in Atlanta. I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah.
I met some in Florida. I used to follow Papa Duck on his YouTube. Very knowledgeable.
Uh-huh.
Uh, his
I never
info.
heard of I never heard of. Shout
I
out to
mean,
Papa Duck, whoever he is, but I never heard of him.
man, he down there in Florida. I ran into him in
Okay.
Orlando. Another mentor, very very
Uh-huh.
established man, puts a lot of well knowledge
Mm-hmm.
that'll help our spirit. But these are
Yeah.
the people that I've learned for. You always got to have a mentor, man. You never too big to have a mentor. Keep you
Yeah.
humble, hold you accountable. but them are the examples.
Mm-hmm.
And I could point to other people. We could point to like the NFL, the NBA, these mortgage companies. They see successful on business credit. One of the first things I asked people that I was down at once again at Cumberland Mall. What was this rapper name? I cannot think, but he was from Memphis. And we was in Status Jewelry, and they got the money, they pulling out the money and all this type of stuff. So some guy in there, he asked one of the rappers about, credit. And the rapper's like, man, I don't know nothing about credit. I ain't never this and that and that. And I'm looking, so bankroll, not what was his name? I can't think of his name. It's gonna come
What
to
year
me.
was this?
This was about 2 years ago.
From Memphis.
2 years ago. I just watched him 2 years ago. It's not.
I want to say Bankroll Freddie, but he's not from Memphis, is he? I don't think he's from Memphis.
Yes, it is, because I'm getting him because the one Bankroll passed from Atlanta. What was his name?
Yeah. Bankroll passed in 2016.
But I think Bankroll, they got caught with the one with the low haircut, dark skin, got the waves. I can't think of his name. It's gonna come to me watching when we get off this.
I think it might be Freddie. I want to say it so bad, but I don't keep up with too many of them to know where they from.
So many, but to get to that story, I'm and my heart set on looking them up now. I got to get the name. I can't think of. But
we'll come back to it.
So we were that's him, Bankroll Freddie. We was right. I just didn't want to say that.
Okay, so it was him. Okay, baby. Shout out to Bankroll Freddie.
Got to meet him, his brother, and all his crew and whatnot. And so we got to chopping it up, and I told him, I said, bro, do you think these NBA owners, these record labels, NFL, do you think that they use their own money? Do you really think that you think that they're going to pull $300 million from their bank account and utilize their own money? No, they're going to that bank. The bank gonna say you good for 300. We'll just freeze your own 300. They're gonna flip that 300 million to some billions. Be done paid the money the bank gave them. You don't loan money. They giving them our money that we got in the bank. Banks borrow money. Banks don't loan money. You can look that up in federal regulations, and that's another thing that you need to understand. But I would break that down to them like, man, once you spend 60,000 fiat money, Federal Reserve money, or cash on a chain, that 60,000 is gone. But if you want to swipe a credit card, you're gonna get the points. You're not using your own money. You can pay it back at your own increment. You can drop the 60 bands on that. Now you finna get an increase. Now you got $100,000 credit card. You got to utilize it. These are ways that you become your own bank. You're gonna borrow from yourself. You're gonna borrow from yourself. And towards the end, I'm gonna incorporate everything what it consists of borrowing from yourself.
I like that you said that too, man. Like how a rapper could use some credit to like actually purchase jewelry based off of their brand, right? Because a rapper got to come in, like they really having it. And you know what I thought about when you said that?
Yes, sir.
I thought about I want to say Boosie said this. Shout out to Lil Boosie too. He got a big ass estate out here.
He growing too.
Yeah, he got some crazy shit. Like I got to holler at Boosie, but Boosie, I think he said something like he don't pay for his jewelry. Like the jeweler would make it, and since it's Boosie, he'll put it on Boosie. But so think about this in a way, like the jewelers do it in a different way. Like, okay, I'm gonna make this chain, and this medallion that's gonna probably be valued at around maybe 150,000. But if I put it on Boosie for free, because I manufacture these anyway. So if I put it on Boosie for free, I might have, a young boy come out the woodworks who may want to pay me $400,000 for that chain. But I couldn't have marketed it myself if I didn't, invest a little bit in putting it on Boosie first. So in a way, like whether you look at it, it's an investment, kind of like we've been talking about at the beginning of this conversation. America is not a home, it's a hotel. This is a corporation. So when you look at Yeah, so like when you look at it as business, you kind of get in that credit restoration mindset, whether you producing or whether you consuming. So I'm definitely feeling exactly where you coming from up on that
Oh
one,
yeah.
fam.
Oh yeah.
Now, coming back a little bit and circling around for somebody who's like ready to get started, or in the midst of it, what steps should someone be taking to start using credit in the manner of where they can begin to build it up high enough to start using business credit and getting loans for businesses, investments, etc.
Mhm. Okay, you want to start if you don't have that much capital or income coming in or cash. We just
Hmm.
gonna talk cash.
Okay.
I don't like to use cash because really there's no cash. We'll just use that for time being or whatever. We're
Okay.
gonna use all the words here so we can get to understand.
Hmm.
Everybody be able to understand on every
Hmm.
level. What
Hmm.
I did at the beginning of my journey, I didn't really have that much income coming in. So
Hmm.
I would go down to the banks, talk with them, learning, and I realized something that I did to help establish and build my credit. Well, what I did, I went down to my bank and I got an unsecured credit card. I also had got a signature loan. We'll talk about that. Them both go hand in hand. Well, the signature loan is I was dealing with Navy Federal. It's one of my banks of choice. And
Hmm.
credit cards, my credit wasn't that good, so I couldn't get a secure. I couldn't get a unsecured credit card. But I take that back. You want to get a secured credit card, but a secured credit card is using your own money that you already have in the bank or the bank is
Hmm.
holding for you. And so I
Hmm.
was thinking that when I first started, I was like, I had to have about $2,000 or I got to have 5,000, I want to do it. But you can do this thing with the smallest amount of money.
All
I
right.
went I went in there and got me a secured credit card for $200.
Hmm.
The bank froze my $200. They gave me $200 of somebody else's money. We're gonna break it down like that. But for terms to get the people to understand, the bank gave me $200 of their money and froze my $200 that I had in the account. Now I have a $250 credit card.
Hmm.
And so what I did, I set an allotment up for $20 to come out every time to pay that. And what that built was an installment residual. It kept reporting. So as that's showing the payment on time, what it did was increase my credit score. And so you can have any I did $20, I think the $20 for the 12 months over the year. And then I also did a signature loan the same way, $200, had $20 going to it. And when the thing that I do that really will help your credit score jump from the beginning, if you don't have that much finances coming in or income coming in, soon as I got that I got that secured credit card for $200. I made my first $20 payment that same day. So
Right.
when at $20, once it first report, it already showed I paid 20. So it's like from a 30-point increase to a 60-point increase. It like doubled.
Hmm.
So that's the beginning. That's the
Right.
easy steps, man. Anybody can go get $200. When you got a license and a little vehicle, you
Hmm.
can go Uber and go and get that and go and start like that
That's a
because that
fact.
credit will build you to bring more income in and capital. You'll
Hmm.
learn the
Hmm.
discipline that comes along with it.
Hmm.
That's the
Hmm.
beginning. I had a young lady call me the other day. She owned her home. She was wanting to take out a HELOC. And she told,
Hmm.
when she went, she telling me her credit score was at a I think 580, but whatever the people told her, they
Hmm.
told her that her credit score had to be over 600 for her to get her own money that she paid in equity, her money now. You got to have your credit score above that. So she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And this and that. I said, how long you been banking with your bank? She was like, probably, man, almost 30 something years. I said,
Yeah.
what you do. We're calling out bank names too. She banked with Bank of America. To each his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me, I ain't fooling with Bank of America.
Mm.
I ain't
Talk that
fooling.
talk.
I ain't fooling. But to each his own. I really ain't see
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
with- yeah. But I said, this is what you do. I don't know if they offer this, but I was telling her, because one of our sisters, I said, what you also need to do is open up some, bank accounts from credit unions, because credit unions are not-for-profit banks. I said, but you go into Bank of America. You said she told me she had some money saved up. I said, what you do is get you a secured credit card or a secured signature loan. I said, once you do that, that is going to put you over the 600 mark. Then you can go on back to the HELOC man, pull out whatever equity that you need to pull out, pay some bills off. I mean, this woman told me she had $194,000 in equity. This woman said she had $194,000 in equity, and even with the interest about 6%, 7%, she can pull out a good 30,000.
Yeah, with no hesitation.
Bills for about 2-3 years, take a nice vacation, and still have some money.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's another way of being your own bank. You ain't got to buy from nobody. Go and get that heat. Shit, I'm buying for myself.
And that's real estate and credit. Remember, y'all, the last episode, the second to last episode we did was how you can use real estate to become your own bank. So y'all see why we had to do this episode today. Yes. You see why we had to do this episode today. Now, I'm gonna be real with you, cuz I'm big on knowing what not to do. Right? One of the biggest things we always like to disclose whenever we talking about new topics, trends, new things to get into, businesses, what have you, is knowing what not to do. Because I'm a firm believer that, you can, some things you may do, some mistakes are like very, very lengthy to get out of. So I want to ask you as a professional, what common mistakes do people make when trying to become their own bank, using credit, and how can they avoid them?
Oh man, the mistake that we all make through any situation when it comes to credit, or dealing with any debtors or anything, we don't respond. We get a letter in the mail from a creditor or a debt collector or anything, we don't respond. We'll look at it. Oh my God, I owe this. You might have, and we definitely really got to get rid of that spirit of fear. We have to, because you're going to have to understand who you are. And I'm going to make a perfect example to get the thought process, to get the nugget. And I pray that this resonate in the people spirit that's listening to this. That hat you have on right now, that hat that you have on, you're the owner of that hat. If you write your name on that hat and I take your hat and put that hat on, who does that hat still belong to? It still belongs to you. Why? Because your name is on that hat, your signature. We have to understand, and this is sort of going in with that topic, I'm going to slide into there, that your signature is one of the most powerful things in the world. They try to say that it binds us into contracts and liabilities, because companies will say your signature is on that document. You signed it, this net. And it's because a lot of times at that moment, you haven't reclaimed or stated who you are for the record. But if my name is on anything, any paperwork, any document, any instrument, negotiable, non-negotiable, if my name was on there, that means I'm the owner of that paperwork, and I tell that paperwork what to do. I instruct it on what to do. I own it. I instruct it on how to perform. And should nobody else be able to tell me different, no court of law, which is the LLC corporation, no state of Georgia, no state of Tennessee, which is a LLC. They're a corporation. They're a corpse. You see what I'm saying? A corpse is a dead entity. So that is one of the first things that you have to understand, is the power of your signature, because we'll ignore anything, and that's what gets you in debt. I have a lot of people that call me with garnishments or whatnot. If you receive a letter from a debt collector, you read it perfectly. They be like, this is a letter, this is a debt collector, we're attempting to collect the debt, They give you 30 days to respond. You can respond and say, hey, this is not my debt. Matter of fact, prove it to me. I don't even know who you are. blase. They're gonna send you back. You kind of you actually have that going on forever. They can't do nothing till you contest it. But really, being a beneficial owner of your name, that's a whole that's a topic of being your own bank. But that'll discharge any debt, because how are you gonna say I owe something with my name on it? That's my name. Why are you using my name without my consent? Did I give you consent? Did I give you permission? Who am I? I'm creating God. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
now I see why you said that. Okay, okay.
I'm here to not to tell. You know, and there's some things that you have to establish with owning your name. Having an LLC connected to the state isn't owning your name, but you can begin to own your name, and that dabble off. We'll have to do another episode with trust, because trust, real estate, and credit, they all go hand in hand perfectly, you know, silently. But you are the trust. If you can get that concept, you are the power, you are the royalty. That's why I wrote that word is purple today, you know, represent royalty. You are.
Yeah.
You was blessed with dominion. We are a physical being. We are spiritual people inside a physical body. Right now, you see me, but you don't see me. I'm just a spirit encompassing this body, passing through time. Like the old folks say, this isn't my home. We passing through. We passing through, and no matter the God-given authority He gave us, nobody on this earth has authority over His people. Even the angels asked Him, "Who is man that you are so mindful of him?" You know, they was like, "Why do you care so much about man?" You know, the angels had to ask God this.
Yeah.
Because we're made in His image, and if we're made in the image of God, and He blessed us with the authority to name animals, to build roads, and all this, He named us to walk in authority, claiming everything that we own. It all starts with understanding your signature. It all starts with reading contracts and understanding contracts. Because everything in America, I take that back. Everything in the United States is based off contracts. You know, verbal, written, handshakes. People don't know hands. You go to court off a handshake.
Yeah. Now in Africa, they say like handshakes is how they agree on deals, right?
The deal.
That's crazy.
And that's why a lot of rich people will talk like that. A lot of rich people, when they turn private, you know, we see people flying on the private jets and all that to get to where they need to. We see a lot of the rappers all that. You know, I think the rappers do it so much for the image. I would never waste that much money getting from point A to point B unless I or if it was a tax write-off. The liability. I mean, asset over the liability, then that'll work for me. But the main reason the wealthy people will ride on jets to get to where they were doing business deals. And so when you do business in the air, a contract is voidable. Because you're in the air.
Say that one more time.
Oh, it's voidable. It's voidable.
So if you do a contract in the air,
yes.
Even if you sign it, it's still voidable.
Even if you sign it. Yes.
Damn, I ain't know that.
Yeah, man. Hey, we can do episode after episode after episode, man.
We're gonna come back to that one. We're gonna come back to that one. That's crazy as hell. Okay. Okay, so I want to get into tools and strategies a little bit, right? So you mentioned the signature, you mentioned the trust. I'm not sure if these things are tools or not, but if they are, you can kind of chime them in. But like, what tools or strategies along this journey of credit restoration that you feel can help people manage their credit effectively?
One of the tools is follow the economy. We don't trust nobody put in office. You know, it's politics. People got to understand politics. But one thing I can say is why the country ran well up under Trump is because he's strictly a businessman. He's strictly business. We live in a commercial. United States is commercial, so he just understood business on that term. But you have to follow the economics on how to land, the prices, inflation. You want to know when to buy, when to sit still, stock money
Mhm.
because everything's up and down like your credit score.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So these are tools you want to utilize. You want to read, you want to study, you want to research. A lot of times we'll put this
Mhm.
thing in other people's hands. Like some people pay me and just go off in the wind and handle it, but won't get to understand. They want that quick fix, and that quick fix just gets them doing what they do. And we have a term that folks use in Atlanta and up here in Tennessee, and they just crash it out. They crash their the credit that they build out. They just ruin everything that they started to build from the beginning. So one of the tools is, man, you have to crack a book up and read. You're gonna have to understand credit. The main thing,
Yeah.
understand who you are. Get rid of the spirit of fear. The reason why I
Mhm.
call it a spirit of fear,
Mhm.
because we have fear.
Mhm.
Fear is an emotion. If it's dark in the
Yeah.
house, my son jump out the closet and say boo, I might, initially get scared. But a spirit of fear will stop you from completing or
Yeah.
moving forward or attempting to do any task that you was put here to do, because it just comes there. And the word tells us that God didn't give that
Mhm.
to us. So if God didn't give that to us, that means it comes from another source.
Right. Right.
Not lining up. So we got to get that out here. Try. I tell people try. But one of the tools that you're gonna have to understand is you're gonna have to crack a book open. That book,
Mhm.
even if you're not a reader, they have things that
Mhm.
what are the things you can listen to? I know some people use some recorders, because my wife, she's not a reader at
Mhm.
all. So she'll just might listen to the words, sound it out.
Mhm.
I read, research, and then I apply it. That the
Mhm.
application is a main tool. Now
Mhm.
we're reading to get the knowledge, we're reading to learn,
Mhm.
we're learning
Mhm.
from mentors. But if you never apply it, which
Mhm.
is the faith connected with the works, there's nothing
Right.
gonna work. Your head gonna bust. You're gonna have all this knowledge and not utilize anything with it.
Mhm. So
Because
like, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead, because I I live next door to a banker. Matter of fact, I live next door to a bank manager. Like I said early on, I'm certified in contract law, business law, like contracts. I know them like the back of my head. I can look at somebody's contract in the word. Man, almost all contracts have a violation because they're man-made. They didn't come from
Right.
God. The only
Uh.
contract that we had that come from God was them 10 commandments. You know what I'm saying, in the Old Testament. But
Uh.
all contracts are man-made. They're always flawed. They're always corporation. There's always uh, something that you can get up out of it. Read your contracts.
Mhm.
Apply what you learn. You're going to get a million no's before you get that first yes.
Mhm.
When I first got into the era of being my own banker, sending letters off to these creditors, the
Mhm.
bureaus, sometimes could be a task, get overwhelming. But that first yes strengthened me and encouraged me and noticed, okay, this does
Mhm.
work. You are wrong. Okay, now I'm going to apply pressure. And as you become young, I look at it like as a tank, the boxer Tank. He started out 6 years old. He
Yeah.
fight, he's learning, he's growing, he's learning. As you grow through this fight, by the time you're headed towards the top, you're unstoppable, bro.
Yeah.
The fear is gone. When I tell you, and this is transparent, being real, because I
Mhm.
had a different lifestyle before this lifestyle now that I live.
Mhm.
When I would go in the courtroom, I would make sure I had an extra pair of whites on, because 6 times out of 10, I was getting booked in the courtroom.
Right. Right.
You
Right. Right.
know,
Absolutely.
they were booking me because I didn't understand the lingo, the lingalese of this, and I want to talk to the judge and be like, "You can't do this." Book 'em, contempt. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Now, when I walk in that courtroom, all glory to God, it's respect. It's,
Mhm.
it's respect. It's so much respect to that people see me there on a common basis that they think I'm a lawyer because I'm suited and booted. Anytime I go in, I'm suited and booted.
Yeah.
And my knowledge is so. And once you build that relationship and that rapport with people that see that you're a genuine person, they begin to break down and show information on how the system works down there. You know, they break because all the departments are different agencies. You have one LLC, which might be the court where you're from. Then in that department in different areas are all other LLCs under this one umbrella. So everything is commercial, everything is business, everything is commercial and business unless you kill somebody or injure their property. Then you're getting booked. But everything else is strictly business. You're gonna have to apply. You're not gonna grow unless you apply it. You don't want to be stagnant in anything you do. Get up and try. Get up and try day by day. If we have some people that's obese or overweight, you have some people like me. I can look fit, but their doctor say, "Hey, your cholesterol high. Okay, let me use some vegan butter." Okay, so long walk. That walking is hard at first, but and then I'm breathing. I'm feeling better. It's the push. It's the push, man. You know, you got to push to it. You got to apply, and you got to remove fear. It's a must that fear doesn't exist. Spirit of fear. That's one of the things. That's a great tool. That application. If you can write it down, I write a lot of things down. I have different books. I write. I had some examples up here. I think I was showing somebody. I was showing our cuz when I went there. I would have scanned it and showed it. I'm gonna see if I might scratch off some of my I'll scratch off my address, which I really don't mind.
And another thing I want the listeners and viewers to pay attention about everything that Ilya is saying is the biggest thing is really one, staying updated with current events. You gotta know what's going on. We got a lot of people these days that just like to be behind the phone, looking at entertainment, but not really understanding why it's a new Publix being built, a mile outside from your house. You see what I'm saying? So stay up to that. And another thing a lot of people these days need to really pay attention to that you were saying was continuing education. Continuing education is how you grow in anything, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give a damn if you are an NBA coach.
Anything.
You have to continuously educate yourself. I forgot what president they said this was. I want to say Theodore Roosevelt. I want to say him, but like they said, even this man, with everything he accomplished, even he died taking notes on shit and studying. You feel me? Like, so, even when you go to art, you look at great people like Pablo Picasso, like he died with a paintbrush in his hand. If you really want to become, and my point is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to become great, at anything you do, you're going to have to continue to educate the mind, and you're going to have to stay in tune with the present. A lot of times we get too caught up in our past, we get overwhelmed with the future, or we may get caught up with our future and overwhelmed with our past, but the present is how you stay dominant, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
So I want y'all to really, really take that into account. Now, cause in our community, there is a lot of financial illiteracy. A lot of us are just now, I would say, coming into, understanding financial literacy, especially thanks to cats like him 500 coming out with his recession-proof program. Shout out to him. So I want to ask you this, like when it comes down to using credit restoration to become your own bank, how financially literate must one be to begin? Or let me ask a better question, right? Let me ask this. Does this require expert financial literacy when engaging in the process of using credit to become your own bank? Would you say that?
I'm gonna have to say a big yes, and the reason why I'm gonna say that is because one of my gifts, like I said earlier, is that I love to read. I always been able to read, and then the comprehension to come with that. Well, it's growing is you have terms that contracts use and courts use, and the term it's a legalese term. So how many of you are conversating right now? The words that we're using, they would
Mm-hmm.
totally mean something else in a quarter law or banking contract.
Mm-hmm.
Banking terms are different from the common language that me and use every day. So you will have to get you a dictionary, a Black's Law dictionary to
Mm-hmm.
understand the terms, because we can look up in banking terms, for example, and do the research. All the
Mm-hmm.
words come out of my mouth. You Google, do your own research. You can back it. It's all facts, because
Yeah.
this call me, yeah, dude, go ahead and do it. Check. What's it called? Fact check me.
Fact check. Yeah.
But if you, okay, so let's say a loan in banking. If you look up what a loan uh, is in banking, it's actually a gift or a grant. So once you understand that, you ask yourself, this is what this says in banking, that it's a grant. So why are they making me pay this
They're back.
back?
Yeah.
Hey, you're in real estate. We'll get into mortgage-backed
Okay.
security, asset-backed security. That's going to have to be another topic. We're going to have to bless the people that are trying to learn this credit journey, real estate, trust. We're going to have to bless them with the words that they prayerfully deposit their spirit, and that they go and do the research themselves, because this is going to make us all free. We have to unlearn to relearn again. And so you have to begin to grow in them terms of financial literacy by understanding the words, the etymology. You're gonna have to, because I can go in the court and say, the judge would be like, do you understand? And I say, I understand. I done put myself up under his jurisdiction. I can sit there and tell them I don't understand a million times. They can't do nothing to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. My mind hurt right now. You see how YSL Woody doing on the stand in the third trial. They don't know what to do with that boy. And people talking about he dumb now. He know what he doing. This other video, he know. He playing dumb for his freedom.
Yeah.
He done made this more comical. You know what I'm saying? Y'all playing with somebody like, get that man up out of jail, man.
That is the craziest goddamn trial I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
that's how it is. All they
Like,
got to do is go there and file habeas corpus. And then the judge has been acting like a lawyer from the bitch, which he's a magistrate, man. He's supposed to be and get him up out. It's so much you can file. It's about notoriety and money. It's about money. That's the whole reason that they locked him up in the first place, just to take all their money, man. Because even with the lady, we ain't going to mention her name on here, but the prosecutor getting caught up in her scandal, come on, man, there's ethics. That trial's supposed to have been gone.
That's what everybody keeps saying. Like, everybody, like, of course I don't practice law, but everybody in the law world, it's like they don't see how this hasn't been thrown out.
Yeah,
like,
there's no way. That man's supposed to be a free man, you know.
That's crazy.
He better be giving prayer to God to make that change, keep everybody away from him, and then keep it thorough and real.
Dang, that's crazy, man. So coming back, like, you're saying, yes, you do need that financial. Okay. So how can people that's new and coming into it, what are things that one can do each day to improve their financial literacy, to better manage their credit and get to a place of freedom where credit restoration has now, put them in a position to become their own bank?
I would say, for the people that don't like to read, if you can listen to YouTube, a lot of people I listen to YouTube from, and the deal about it, you have to be careful, because some of the knowledge isn't knowledgeable, or some of the knowledge isn't accurate. But if you're a person,
got to fact check, ladies and gentlemen.
But I also believe in being spirit led. There's a lot of people that I might be listening to 5 different people, but they have one thing in common. So I could take that common thing and place it over here and know that that's correct, and it won't feel off. You see what I'm saying? So you have to find the one. Then I have, like, I can definitely say her name, man, because I've learned so much from her. And if you're on YouTube, anybody, definitely go follow her. Name is Christina Wilson. She's learned from Patrick Devine. Patrick Devine, I can listen to him, but he talks in that monotone voice. He's passed, so rest well, Patrick Devine. But Christina Wilson, she's very knowledgeable. She has a family, so she's busy, but she's humble. She breaks it down with so much clarity. She'll get to the stern part when she can. But what I've learned in this thing from learning from certain people, a lot of times they learn the information and it's like they look down on the people that's still growing and learning the information already supposed to know it. And I'm like, dang, how did y'all get to this point? Y'all once was where everybody else was, where we were. Now you up there. Now you want to cuss people out online. This, and I'm looking at you crazy, man. I'm not dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, because I can't go back and forth with you online. There's nothing negative in my spirit, man. I run from negativity. I got to have a positive, and I have to learn. Negativity was my past. You understand? Yeah, get away from me. Hey, when my kids, I'll be like, y'all spoiled. When they get that acting up, I'll be like, hey, man, go on, get away from me. That's it. I don't want to jump on me, man. I want to stay because you can't think with negative thoughts in your mind. Yeah,
you can't. Man. You can't.
Anything.
Yeah.
But that's one of them for real.
Okay, so yeah, and I want to go back to what you said, ladies and gentlemen. When we come on and we have these topics about whether it's real estate business, credit business, art business, there's a level of humanity that's gonna always play into it too. When you think negative, you attract negative.
Oh yes.
When you think positive, you attract positive.
Yes.
So definitely, not to get too off topic, but have regimens in your life that create a consistent level of happiness, if not positivity. So whether that be working out, if you're a gym rat, or doing something you love, like playing an instrument in the morning, you may pray, you may meditate. You want to do that about 2-3 times a day. You want to continue to speak your affirmations. I am successful. I am a genius. I am rich. I am wealthy. I promise you it's gonna come to you, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. And this puts you at success in the long term of everything in life. So when we get into the long term of credit, like I want to ask you, like, how can you see using credit? How can you see credit restoration being used as a long-term financial benefit for most people?
Because once we begin to learn the true definition of credit, who we are, we be able to discharge debt that the government or these corporations have created in your name. You didn't give them permission to. Well, we have to understand that everything that comes with credit derives from a social security number that was assigned to you. That assigned number to you is an account with the United States Department of Treasury. That was an account that they assigned to you. Fact check me after this. Anybody that hears this episode, you call the IRS and you tell them, hey, I want to check on my account. You say, I want to check on my account. They will say, okay, what's your social? Then you give them your account number. So you're going to be like, how do I have an account number with this financial institution, the IRS, which is a private entity, not government? How do you have that without your knowledge? But the main thing about it is you have to learn how to handle the affairs of your account. Right now, you're not a steward over your account. That's why you owe this. This is why they say you owe this debt. This is why the IRS is sending you this letter, because you don't know how to manage your account. Credit is you. You're the creditor. You can be the debtor. You can take on all forms of a hat because of who you are, because the way that God created you. He gave nobody over you. So that's the first thing that we have to understand about being your own banker, that you was assigned an account that's linked to the IRS. Now you have to know what to do with that account to claim you, because what is happening anytime that we apply for anything, you know, it's two things they're going to ask for: your signature and your account. You see what I'm saying? Which is your social security number. So if I'm going to apply for a car, or I'm going to apply for a house, you got to put that name and that social. Why does the social have to be connected to the name? Is it because a million other people have a name? What is that utilizing to identify you? It's all connected. The social, the birth certificate, and your name. It's a corporation that they created. It's another corpse, but it's your name, and you haven't claimed that name to take account of your affairs and to be the steward over your account. And that's why everything is haywire. Like I said, I wish I could have scanned this earlier, but I'll put this up a little close. Can you read what that say?
Mr. Ilya Cole, individual banker, CFO. Ilya Cole, private bank estate, and TR percent. Ilya Cole, Gen PTR,
Well,
Clarksville.
the main one I wanted you to see was private
Okay.
bank estate.
Okay, private bank estate.
Yeah,
That's what you want us to pay attention to.
Individual banker.
Mm-hmm. Individual.
Okay. That's one of the starts of being your own banker and handling your own affairs through credit with the U.S. Department of Treasury. Because what we have to understand, we have 18 United States Code. United States Code, USC, stands for United States Code. 18 Section 8. It tells you what all the obligations are for the United States. All obligations. It tells bonds, certificates, money orders, you know, FRNs, because we'll go back to the beginning. 1933 took the gold and silver way, the substance to pay. So there had to be another way that we had to discharge debt. So they came up with 18 USC Section 8 saying that, hey, we'll be responsible for all that. But these corporations, these people are not going to tell you that, because what we're really doing is double dipping. When I go buy an automobile, or when I go get a so-called loan from the bank, or I'm going to get a mortgage, the first time that I put my signature on that paper, there has been a transaction of securities being exchanged. Your securities is your social security number. With the SETC, these companies are supposed to be registered in each state that actually trade securities. Some of them are, some of them don't. When they're not, it's fraud. When they are, it's still fraud, because what they're doing is selling your securities without your consent. Plus, you don't own your affairs, or you're not utilizing your affairs. So you don't understand the thing of discharging debt. So with that social security number being your open-end line of credit, there's forms that the IRS have: 1099A, 1099B, 1099C, 1040B, 1041, 1096. You know, it goes on and on. Power of attorney, 2848. There's all these forms. But the main thing that we forgot to do was to read the back of the instructions. We never
I heard that one before.
had to read the instructions. And that IRS has been another 3-letter word that has instilled fear into us. And we just go on with this and don't even read. You have an account, and all these forms are banking forms. This form right here is a 1096 form. All these forms, that's a 1096 right here. Which one did I got right here? This one is instructions on the 1041V. These are the instructions. They tell you how to fill it out. They tell you where to send it to get remedy in your debt, to manage your own bank account with your own credit. You know, sometimes I tell people, because we've been so caught up, and I was talking to a tax preparer lady, and we was talking. I was like, you know them. I said, you know them a banking form, and she like, you know, that's what people say. But when you look at this form, let me grab it again, one of these forms to see, because we don't have to. Because think about this. Look at these. Who's actually gonna read these? there's nobody that's really going to read the back of these instructions.
Yeah, terms and conditions.
Yeah. You're not going to
The terms
read.
and conditions.
These forms tell you what to do, where to send them to do. We discharge debt. You discharge your credit is the account. When I get a presentment in from one of my mortgage companies, because I've assigned them as the fiduciary, if somebody doesn't know what a fiduciary is, that's somebody taking the responsibility of somebody else.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, for example, with my mortgage company, we'll throw this out there. I've made them the fiduciary, if it makes any sense. So with me, this form you fill out the SS4. You have to send it out with other forms. You got to hit me up for that. You break it down, read all the instructions, you send it in. And what the Department of Treasury does is, because everything's being utilized off your account, your social, they'll send you a check for that, and make that payable, because it's always utilizing your information in the first place. That's part of being your own banker and managing your own affairs. You're gonna have to read. The lady, like I said, one of my mentors, the way that she said it, it hit so hard in the spirit. She's like, please read the instructions. She was just like, when she said it, it hit me. That night, I read the instructions, and it blew me away. The effect that it had, it hit me like, oh my God, I can't believe they lied to us. No, I'm like, they lied. Like, what? I'm like, dang, they lied. I'm like, this has been in my face this entire time.
Yeah.
Now just reading it. And people will tell you, well, hey, man, you can't play with the IRS. You send the wrong forms in, you'll get locked up. They're going to come knocking on your door. No, they're not. What happened, they'll send something back, either showing that, hey, you ain't filled this out. I've got forms that wasn't filled out the correct way, that they filled it back and marked the correct way, and then I resent it back in. Because all you have to do is ask them over the phone, okay, what's the correct way of filling this out? That's their job, step by step. But they're not going to tell you nothing unless you ask, or you're doing your own research or your own reading. And we'll definitely have to do a whole topic, because I want to stick to the credit part on this. And then we'll get more into that, because that's a deeper level where you have to have greater financial literacy of being your own banker with the credit, utilizing the Department of Treasury on how the correct way that you are supposed to utilize it. But I have one of my favorite books right here for anybody being a rookie, anybody getting into this. This book will break down the beginning of being your own banker and understanding credit.
Hold the book up.
I'm about to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's by David E. Robinson. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. You see it?
See that, ladies and gentlemen? Take a screenshot.
Take a screenshot of it.
The book that he's holding up is Give Yourself Credit. Money Doesn't Grow on Trees by David E. Robinson.
Yes.
You are a beginner in the credit restoration, want to use credit to become your own bank, to be a big boss, like the man we got here, Elliot Cole, Credit Dad. You already know what's happening. You want to go ahead and get this book, ladies and gentlemen.
You want to get that. This is the foundation. You have to understand this. I've had this book for years, and I still read it over and over. I read it like a Bible. Yeah, because I'm getting new information, and then the things that I didn't understand or comprehend, because I went through some or utilized, I'm saying, dang, it makes sense. So I'm going like I'm reading it again tonight. And that's the great thing, man. You can find that book on Amazon for under $16. Man, you got to invest in yourself. That's the only way you're gonna win.
Always do that, ladies and gentlemen. Got to invest in yourself. Okay, speaking of investing, right? Okay. I want to ask your opinion on this, right? Of course, me being a realtor, I'm going to always tell people invest in real estate. And that's not me being a shrewd businessman, ladies and gentlemen. That's just me. I like things that's tangible. That's just me. You know, I like things that's tangible. So let me ask you this, like, what investments or businesses would you consider to a mentee for investing into when it comes for when it well as it relates to their future. So you mentoring somebody on credit restoration for them to become their own boss.
Mhm.
What investments would you recommend they get into?
Investments, well, you know, the number one investment is real estate. And see, the thing again, everybody, when they hear that word or our community,
Uh-huh.
they hear that they think they need so much money. But
They don't.
it starts with the topic what we're talking about, credit. This is
Mm-hmm.
the point where in in a month's time, if you was working with about 5,000, you could get in that month time about $50,000 of available credit. How could you do that, Ilya, Mr. Cole, Mr. Dude with the purple? How would I be able to get 50,000 in 1 month off of what you just talking about if I had $5,000?
Right.
Hey, LLC, let's say LLC, I'm up in Tennessee, costs about $300. Boom, you done spent $300 on your
Mm-hmm.
LLC. Now you got your articles of corporation. You done took it, you done open up your little bank account. They want you to put $5, $10 in. Now you got your business bank account. Now
Mm-hmm.
you looking and people offer trade lines. People might offer a trade line for about $500
Yeah.
of credit, about 8 years, 18,000
Mm-hmm.
zero. You snatch
Mm-hmm.
it up. Now you got 8 years of credit, 18.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now your business credit done went
Mm-hmm.
up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You see another trade line for 250, $6,000. You know, add that 18 to the six is going up and up. Now you're showing just by spending minimal cash, you done grew your credit score. You done grew your age of credit. It showed that your history. Now you're applying for a signature loan to your bank for 50,000. There you go. And the deal about that is if you have 5 bank accounts, once you apply for that, we'll go to 20,000. Once you apply for that 20,000 at one bank, that same day you can go to your other 4 banks and get another 20,000. That's 100,000 in one day. These are people that have done this. I've done it. I've helped people do this. I've seen it with my own eyes. If we had them on there, they go, hey man, I just got 50. One of our family members got 50 when it was fresh. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest thing too, not to cut you off, you talking about
Yeah,
trade lines. You know,
yeah.
now some of the listeners and viewers are gonna know what trade lines are. Some of
Come on,
y'all
man.
not gonna know what trade lines are. But we gonna have another episode with Elliot. You know, this family right here. So we
Yes,
gonna definitely keep the credit segments coming. But trade
yeah, yeah.
lines, we gonna have a whole segment on trade lines,
Yes,
websites
sir.
to go to, etc. But you jumped a little bit ahead, but I'm glad you said it. I just wanted to clarify for the people that's new coming into the episode. Just
The words come out like that. That be the
yeah, cause
spirit.
I was like, he popping too much shit. He popping too much shit. Let me slow him down just a little bit. You know, we got a couple of beginners. You know, we want everybody to feel welcome. You
Yeah,
know, but
yeah,
okay. So I'm definitely loving everything you talking about, fam.
yeah.
So before we get out of here,
Uh-huh.
um, just want to ask you one thing, right? Spill Street is a community, right?
Yes.
You know, it's a community when people come over here to Spill Street. And we try to leave every episode with the best advice, you know, our guests could give to the people that's listening based on the topic that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, with us talking about credit restoration from a beginner's level of how you can use to become your own bank, what advice would you give to someone just starting to explore becoming their own bank via credit?
The best advice that I would give is patience.
Mm-hmm.
Patience is virtue. Like you said earlier, we
Mm-hmm.
live in a microwave generation. They all want it now. That's why we have so
Yeah.
many YouTube stars. And there's
Yeah.
definitely nothing wrong with that. Be an entrepreneur, get to the bag, do your own
Mm-hmm.
thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely for that. That's why I go on the topic while we're moving so quickly into the era of AIs, working at
Mm-hmm.
these fast food
Mm-hmm.
places and all that, because these teenagers have found another route of becoming millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so, yeah, they going hard with that. And so to get back to the question, one of the advice that I could definitely use is what we state is invest in yourself, man, and learn patience.
Mm-hmm.
With patience, what's happening with patience? And what the fear of patience is, when people say patience, they think they're not moving. Patience, patience make you stagnant. But in patience, you're actually moving. You're just being led the right way. Because with patience, if I'm walking slow or if I'm thinking slow, I could begin, I'm just using that thinking slow term. I could see everything. Everything I could observe. I could, process it through my mind and this. If I'm moving fast, man, if I can't see, patience, you're moving in an order. Patience creates protection. So don't have fear. I tell some people, man, take a year off the picture credit. Take a year off the picture credit. I have people that have called me with the credit, then they'll call me the next day it's done, the result. I said, man, this is a battle. This is a fight. You're fighting a corporation. Like, they ain't just finna give up. These corporations make money off of you having negative information. Why they just want to let your negative information go for free from you writing a letter when they're making money off of it? No, you tell them the violations when you write this letter. You let them know, hey, I'm gonna write you 2 more times. After this, I'm going to sue you. So we can get the bag that way or we get this way. Either remove it, get sued. Either way, I'm gonna get paid.
We came to get the bag.
Man, we getting the bag all day.
Yeah.
Patience, man. You got to have patience. You have to have clarity of mind. That's my advice. And we're living in a time, if you got a partner, I'm married, right? Me and my wife go hand in hand. I've grown to love her even more each day because that she's a woman, so the thought process is different. I'm a man, the thought process is different, but we both cater to each other, spiritually and physically. The things that I'm not good at, she's younger than me, but there's some things, man, that she's more powerful, knowledgeable, and that I lean to her understanding on that. And then there's things that my wife don't like to read. She'll tell you, somebody bring her with something, she say, hey, baby, read this. Because I'm the reader. You see what I'm saying? Now, you see how clear we doing this thing today?
Yeah.
Without her, we done went out without a hiccup, man. Yesterday, I'm like, oh,
right. We got it right today, though, man. We definitely got it right today.
And I'm growing in that area. And sometimes I get frustrated because when she shows me so fast. And I'm like, I need to be taught. And it's the same, but we're right here. That's her area, and that's her area, my area. And I said that to say this, man. You're living in the time, but you're gonna have to have a partner that's on one accord, man. You don't want no distractions. You don't want no distraction in your relationship, all this extra stuff going on, man. You're wasting time getting to the goal, what God has ordained for you and what you have ordained to yourself. It's all right to be single by yourself. Learn yourself, man, because when you learn who you are and know who you are, you know what you accept and what you won't accept. And I tell all men, this is for the men on here, I tell them, I don't care what a woman body look like. You listen to the words that's coming out her mouth, and that will tell you all you need to know. And for the women, the same with the men. Hey, listen to what the words that come out his mouth. If he has kids, is he taking care of that responsibility before you involve yourself with him? Because if he ain't taking care of that responsibility, what does he think? Listen how he treats his mother. Listen how he treats his father. You look at the call them red flags, but just look at the characteristics before you get involved and take that long term, because that is another thing that can hinder you on your journey. You want somebody of like mind, or even if they're not like mind, they do their thing. You want somebody that's willing to grow or willing to learn. That's my advice. Patience and your partner. Your partner is going to play a part in your future, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. And I think we should date for marriage and not date to date, because you just be distracting me, unless I'm the person that like to have fun. We're gonna go bowl and chop it up.
I agree with that. No, I definitely agree with that, man. And I want to add to it a little bit too. Kind of piggybacking off of what I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Patience, another word for patience in Spill's dictionary, right? Is presence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Patience is the presence. Like Ilya said earlier, about the patience. A lot of times people think patience is stagnant. You ain't moving nowhere, and it kind of relates to the present a little bit, and the presence, i.e. patience, you're moving somewhere a lot more faster than you think you're moving, because you're focused on the task at hand. A lot of times what's going to hold us back is our past, being overwhelmed with our past, or being caught up, what may or may not happen in the future. And
Yes.
even when you talk about the relationship, I do believe, a good relationship can
Yeah.
also help. Speaking for the men, at least,
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
woman,
Me either.
but I can speak for brothers. If
Yeah.
you get you a sister, who aligns with what you're trying to do, because people can only bring you up or down.
Yeah, down. Hey, trust me.
It's no in between. They can
Yeah.
only bring you up or down. So if if you're a guy that's into that, that believes in marriage, family, as we all should as
Yeah.
African
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
then definitely that positive relationship with your significant other can definitely bring you up there and also keep you grounded within the
Yeah.
presence. Because the war is in our minds, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's all in the mind. And the mind doesn't know what's real and what's not real. So you got to constantly be patient and talk positivity to yourself constantly.
Man,
But before,
that's it.
yeah, man. But before we get out of here, cuz let the people know where they can reach you, where they can find you, where they can get advice on this journey. Like let's close out for a second. Where can they find you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a website. It's
Mhm, mhm,
www.esolutionscreditrepair.com. Now it's eSoul. The soul you spell SOUL because it's a mind thing. Like we were just saying, your soul. So it's eSolutions.creditrepair.com. I'm gonna take that repair out of there soon. We're gonna switch that up, man, because it's never broken, man. You just need to
uh-huh,
be restored.
mhm,
You can also find me on Facebook. I'm gonna be, man.
mhm,
Lord put in my spirit to start dropping this information starting Monday. It's gonna be sooner than that,
mhm,
But I'm
mhm,
gonna start dropping on Facebook. It's Illia Cole, ILLIA.
mhm,
Name Cole. You'll see the image of me holding my two sons.
mhm.
Instagram is the
Credit
Credit
that.
Dad
Pops.
800. The Credit Dad 800. I now gonna have my daughter working at accounts because she's the Instagram, queen. You know how them 18 years old, the
Mhm.
Instagram. So I told her, hey, you want to get paid to make some money, man? You're gonna work this account. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
what you need to post in this. We need to get this residual income coming in. This is where you can find me, and wherever it is YouTube. I'm also on YouTube, Illia Cole. We have one episode on there. I'm gonna be placing extremely more. I'm gonna name the topic, and we'll go over that topic, the
Mhm,
complete schedule or whatever
mhm,
session. We'll definitely do that because I don't like to bounce around. When new people are learning, you bounce too many places, they really don't
mhm,
understand. So once we do a session, we'll stick to that topic, then we'll
mhm.
create some more because we're gonna be free
Yeah.
this year, next year, because it's not only for us, it's for our children, our
Mhm,
family members.
mhm.
God blessed us to be the head and not the tail. He blessed you with
Yeah.
authority. He bless you with royalty. You are the king and the queen. Everybody say, well, not all of it. No, man, you're a child of the Most High. So the words that you speak change things. Put the action behind it. Be blessed, man, and
Uh-huh.
definitely for everybody, all our people, but
Uh-huh.
because I love our community so much,
Mhm,
mental breaks, mental. I have a mentor. I have a therapist. I have somebody I can talk to
mhm,
that I got to worry about telling my business. You know what I'm saying? You need that. You need that. You need that. That's a relief.
mhm.
And where we're going to, you definitely need that. We want that mental
Got
clarity.
to,
So
man.
clear your mind. If you got to go by the water,
Mhm,
you like to run, whatever you like to do,
mhm,
man, to clear your mind, to stay humble, to get to that next level, and believe in who God called you to be. Everything's gonna happen. This is a journey. We have a destination where we're headed. You're going to have to fight. I had somebody tell me that before. I liked it, but I didn't like it. I knew it, but I didn't like it. You're gonna have to fight. Stop. You're gonna have to fight. You fight it anywhere else, huh? You be quick to cut somebody out.
Yeah.
Stop being scared and fight back with these creditors, these corporations, and begin to
Yeah.
read and do what you have to do because all the
Yeah.
authority it's already been given to you. You
Mm.
just have to establish that. But once again, Ilya Cole on Facebook, Instagram, the Credit Dad 800. Website is www.esolutions, SOUL, creditrepair.com. And we learned a new method to get rid of some negative items, man. So y'all definitely tap in.
No, they definitely gonna be tapped in. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the links for the descriptions that Elliot put inside the chat, ladies and gentlemen. So you definitely gonna be able to get in contact with them if need be. And we're gonna keep coming back with these episodes. So this was just the beginning. Episode 1, you know, Spill Street Podcast, Elliot Cole, Michael Spill. You know, we had to bring y'all some information, and we definitely gonna get the bag. And before we get out of here, cuz let me go ahead and drop a few announcements before we leave. Ladies and gentlemen, before you leave, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're watching this video on YouTube, follow the Spill Street Podcast on Spotify. Yes, we are on Spotify, so you can listen to this while you're driving or whether you're at the gym. For those of you who are interested in purchasing property in Atlanta and you want me, Michael Spill, as your realtor, click the new buyers and sellers link in the description below. Yes, click the new buyers and sellers link in the description below. When you click that new buyers and sellers link, go ahead and leave your email and phone number, and me, myself, or somebody from my team, the Wealthy Group, will be getting back to you ASAP within minutes, not hours. And other than that, man, we really appreciate you, Elliot, for coming here today, brother. And until exactly, we're gonna be having some more information for y'all. Go ahead.
Drop the number for them so they do that. But it's 404 857-2703. You can leave a message. That's my business line. Hey, let's get it cracking.
I'm gonna put that in the description too.
Yeah, put that in there. 404-857-2703. And the kids just walked out. I was about to have them over here, but my son had his shirt off with all his muscles. We don't want him online.
Hey, boy, Eli ain't no joke. All right, we out, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, you already know the motto: spread positivity, information, love, and light. We out. Peace.